All right, what is going on, everyone? This is going to be our Tri-Brigade branded deck profile. Again, Tri-Brigade branded. Some rogue sauce here for the channel. As always, shout out to Duelist Academy. The Duelist Academy, link to the team IG down below in the description, as well as my personal IG. Make sure you follow both accounts for deck profiles, updates, and other Yu-Gi-Oh shenanigans. And then make sure you like and subscribe this video if you like this deck profile. You want to continue seeing rogue deck profiles and deck theory and explanations, as well as combo videos that will follow. This video gets enough attention and traction, I'm going to go ahead and make a few combo videos to showcase just what this deck can do, this variant of Tri-Brigade. So Tri-Brigade, guys, for those of you that aren't familiar with the archetype, Tri-Brigade is essentially an archetype of Tri-Beasts, which are Beast Warrior, Beasts, and Wing Beasts. They focus on link summoning, and they do so by banishing for cost from the graveyard. So they banish Tri-Beast from the graveyard in order to summon Tri-Beast links. And they have an arsenal within their own archetype, as well as others that you'll see here that are honorary Tri-Brigades out of archetype that you can also summon using this like kind of cheat out link strategy. They're very powerful, and I'll just run through the cards real quick, give you a brief overview of them, and as well as the branded cards that pair really well with the strategy. So we'll start off with the main deck. And what's cool about this, guys, is that this is like a lore deck. Tri-Brigades have like connected lore with the Albaz and the branded cards. So here we have Tri-Brigade Fractal, 3 copies of him, as well as 2 Tenki. Tenki says search Beast Warrior. Fractal's a Beast Warrior, so you want to, this is your primary starter of the deck. You want to search him, you run 5 copies, maximize on him. This guy essentially says send him to the graveyard from hand or field, and then send another Tri-Brigade to the graveyard. Tri-Brigades all have graveyard effects, and also you need them in the grave to link summon. So really good card, easy to see why we max out on him, and as he's the starter of the deck. Next we have the card you're usually sending off Fractal, which is Kit. You run 3 of her. Kit is another great, excellent Tri-Brigade addition. She wasn't in the archetype originally. When she got added is when the deck became kind of like full powered. When Kit gets into the graveyard, you get to send another Tri-Brigade card to the graveyard. That could be a trap, that could be a spell. Typically that's just a monster, typically Nerval. But in this variant, you're actually sending Tri-Mercurier, which is like the connection to the Albaz branded archetype as well. She comes up also because she's Beast, and I'll explain that connection shortly. Next we have 3 Nerval. So Nerval is your searcher of the deck. When it gets sent to the graveyard, you search any Tri-Brigade card. So really good. He also, like all the other Tri-Brigades that I've mentioned already and that I will mention, they have the effect where if they're on field, you can banish for cost from the graveyard any number of Tri-Beasts, so Wing Beasts, Beast Warriors, to then link summon, cheat out link summon. So really good. He's your searcher, you max him out on him. And then you play 2 Karas. Karas is like the extender of the deck. Karas says discard a Tri-Beast and then special him. And he also has the ability to banish from the graveyard and link summon. Not much to say. You play 2 because by himself he doesn't accomplish much. But he is like okay to see in hand. Because he'll give you that extension sometimes. Next you play the most powerful card in the archetype, which is Tri-Revolt. Tri-Revolt is a link summon, basically a free link summon on your opponent's turn by reviving from the banish zone or graveyard Tri-Beasts and then going into a link monster. Usually you're going into Shureg, which is a Tri-Brigade boss monster, which then nets you a banish. Also, the Tri-Brigades get sent to the graveyard after link summon, so they trigger their graveyard effects, netting you follow-up plussing. So really strong card. You end on this set. You play 2 because you don't mind sitting in your opening hand. It lets you take more flexible anti-Nibiru routes. Also kind of saves you on resources. And then you also play 2 because of the grind game. Resolving 1 usually means you win. Resolving 2 means you're blowing them out. So there you go. Now on to the branded cards. We play 2 Mercurier. This is Tri-Brigade Mercurier, so he is searchable with Tri-Brigade cards. He is a Wing Beast, so that comes up. This card's really good. When he gets banished, you get to add any card that mentions a monster that is Fallen of Albaz or that mentions it. So he pluses you when he banishes. Also, if he's in your hand and you have Mirror Jade on the field, which is something we end on frequently in this deck, you can discard him to negate a monster effect. So he becomes like a through Dark Ruler interruption. Next, you play Springen's Kit, which is sometimes what you're searching off Mercurier. This one says special if you have a Fallen of Albaz fusion in the graveyard or field, and then you add to your hand a branded card. Kind of like a looper, but you have to put one on the bottom of the deck, which is fine because we plus a lot in this deck, so it offsets the cost. Shrouded Dragon is the reason why we plus. Branded Dragon lets us send any card we need to the graveyard that's Fallen of Albaz or a branded spell and trap, and then put them at the bottom and draw a card. Really good. This paired with Mercurier and then Branded Sword, which we'll discuss shortly, gets you like a plus, which offsets the costs of like your effects and your Tri-Brigade shenanigans. One Fallen of Albaz to make Mirror Jade. The Branded Sword, the Branded in white. Branded Sword says banish from the graveyard. Target a Fallen of Albaz that is banished or a monster that listed, add it back to your hand. So this is what we're setting off Shadow Dragon to kind of add back the Mercurier and kind of net us like a free card. Branded in white is basically poly, but from the graveyard by banishing Albaz and like a link monster to make Mirror Jade. So this is how we're making Mirror Jade in this deck. And then Branded in High Spirits, we play 3. This is like our pseudo starter of the deck. This card says basically reveal kit, send Albaz fusion, that's a beast, to the graveyard, and then add whatever you need, whether it's Mercurier, Kit, or Shrouded Dragon. Usually Shrouded Dragon to get a draw. And then Kit triggers, starts the cascade of Tri-Brigade effects, Kit's the Nerval search name. So this is like another starter for you in the deck, and this is what gets you into full Mirror Jade, Apo, and Revolt combo. This is a really good card. Also, it recycles back at end phase to your hand to net you like a free card. If a fusion was sent there this turn, so usually on the follow-up turn when you use Mirror Jade to send Albaz fusion to grave, this is in your grave, so this will come back to your hand, which will net you like a free card to like use for costs of stuff. So really good. So that's the branded package. Basically just adds an extra layer to the deck that people don't usually expect. Not only that, but these cards are extremely cheap. I mean, between all these cards, you're probably looking at like $1, maybe $1. Albaz is the most expensive at 25 cents. Everything else is cents. So you're looking like $1 with all these this whole engine, including the Mirror Jade and the fusion. It's probably roughly about $1.50 maybe. So yeah, really cheap, adds an extra layer of extension to the deck. Next, you play Foolish Burial, Called by in Gold Sarcophagus. Foolish Burial sends anything you need to the grave, construct your Tri-Brigade lines. Gold Sarcophagus banishes the Mercurier, which then adds you an Albaz or a monster that listed to hand. So it gets that cascade going, and it can result in like a draw and a free card as well if you just want to add Albion to send sword and then draw, and then banish sword to add Mercurier to hand. So it can result in like a free card to offset costs if you need. So really good card. All powerful one-ups. Called by the Grave obviously stops hand traps and other things. Now moving on to the defensive cards of the deck. You want to play generic. Your side deck can consist of like bells and other things that aren't as generic, but we stick generic with 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Veiler. Ash Blossom is really cheap now. She's like $5, $6, $7. So this deck is still under $100 total, extra and main. Effect Veiler's $1 a copy. It's been $1 a copy for forever now. Just really good generic stuff. And then you do splurge on the 1 DD Crow. DD Crow is searchable. He's like an honorary Tri-Brigade. Shurik lets you search any beast, winged beast, beast warrior to hand when he's sent to the graveyard, depending on your number of banished. Usually you're searching DD Crow if he's sent during your opponent's turn to have like that additional layer of interruption you need. So you do want to splurge on 1 DD Crow. You can get like a common for like maybe a little less than $10 now. So yeah. Next, you play your blowout cards, your Dark Ruler and your Chalices. This would be Droplet, but again, we're keeping it budget, so Dark Ruler does its thing. This deck has no issues after Dark Ruler clearing the opponent's board and setting up their interruptions. Thanks to Shurik banishes and the beefy boy that he is. Chalice, obviously, you can chain at any time during your turn, or even set going first to provide an interruption. If you draw Dark Ruler, that's fine. You draw cards you don't need, you shuffle them back into the deck with your Tri-Brigade link effects, which I'll explain shortly. Moving on to the extra deck, we play the Tri-Brigade stuff. So 2 Farragut. Farragut's amazing. Farragut takes any beast warrior to make. When you summon her, you can use her effect on field to special another Tri-Brigade or beast warrior Wing Beast from hand. So she's actually a generic Tri-Beast type support. She also has the effect that when she hits the grave, you can like mulligan. You could send one card from your hand to the bottom of the deck and draw a card. So that's when you can get rid of cards like Dark Ruler that are useless going first. Really good card. You're usually making her first during combo, or sometimes you're making Bear Brum. Bear Brum is what gives us Revolt access. It says basically add Revolt, put up a card at the bottom of the deck. Again, mulligan cards you don't need. What also comes up in this deck, because you plus off the branded engine, is you can discard 2 cards to revive one of your banished monsters. And that could help you push for like full board. That yields you like incredible follow-up. Even though you'll use all your cards, you're going to yield 2 Tri-Brigades on follow-up and resolve Revolt. So really good. You only play 1 because usually you're hard making her. So you can summon her off Revolt to get like another Revolt if you want. Next we play the 1 Yugioh. He comes up sometimes where like, he basically says, quick effect, summon a Tri-Beast from graveyard during your opponent's turn, and then end phase it adds to your hand. If you can't kill your opponent on the clapback, you make this guy under Shureg, because this guy makes Shureg another banish on your opponent's turn. Granted, you don't have Revolt set, right? Sometimes also you just make this guy on your turn to just have Revolt live, because there's just no other, you don't have enough gas, right? And then you play 3 Shureg. Shureg is like the talk of the town as far as this deck. Shureg is a non-target banish. Shureg, when he gets into the graveyard, he pluses you a Tri-Brigade or a Beast or a Wing Beast, including potentially DD Crow. He's 3k, he's huge. You summon him off Revolt. You just do big Shureg things. Amazing card. Also extremely budget. I mean, these links are a couple dollars. Farragut. This is like probably like a $10 package right here. Maybe a little more now that they're a little older. Next, you play the pseudo Tri-Brigades, the Amirage, the Lightheart, the Desperado Doom Eagle, and the Apple. So Apple's your most expensive card. The Ultra will run you around $25. Doom Eagle, Scareclaw, and Amirage, these are about $1 each, but Doom Eagle is really good. He helps you link up into a Link 4, and also he's an interruption for some decks where he basically targets and quick effect targets a monster in grave and your opponents and then shuffles into the deck. It can interrupt your elements and things like that. Lightheart is he's a Link 1, he's a Beast Warrior. It doesn't matter what he does. Point is that sometimes he comes up for the cost of making Mirror Jade, and just like if you have weird hands, he'll come up where like you have to like just banish for 1 to make him to go into Farragut. So he comes up, he's really good. He's a new card. Glad he got added to the arsenal. Next we play Almirage. Sometimes you just normal summon Kit, link out, and then into Almirage, and then get Kit effect engraved to dump Nervball, add Tri-Beast to hand, usually Karas, and that starts your whole play. So Almirage is huge to kind of start on those like hands where you only have Kit. So yeah, moving on to our finisher. This is a budget deck again. We're already splurging an Apple because Apple's like kind of mandatory going first, or else this deck is really weak. So instead of getting access code to keep the deck at $100, we got Boral Sword here. Boral Sword, ugly art. This is the access code at home. Basically says attack for 3k twice, right? So this plus like Tri-Brigade, or this plus Shureg is game on the clapback. Really good. He's a little harder to make, but typically if you go like, if you're Revolt and Apple do its trick, and Apple's on the board, this guy's not that hard to make. Next, you have the Mirror Jade package, the Mirror Jade with the 2 Brigand Glory Dragon. This is why we play the deck this way. Mirror Jade basically says non-target banish, quick effect, and then sending like one of these for cost. This nets you Tri-Brigade follow-up. Mirror Jade, if he leaves the field, blows up your opponent's board. So this is just really good to set up. Usually when you get Mirror Jade, Apple, and Revolt, it's like an OTK. You send 1 during your turn if you do the Branded and High Spirits combo to net you also that Mercurier in hand, which then gets you an extra negate with Mirror Jade on the board. And then yeah, on your opponent's turn, when you resolve Revolt and when you resolve Mirror Jade, and for cost, so even if you get Dark Ruler, you still send for cost, that nets you 2 follow-up Tri-Brigade names, which is usually game on the clapback. So yeah, this is why we play the decks, because instead of 1 follow-up, we get 2 follow-ups. And like in this current format where like the opponent is typically able to like through engine beat your board, or at least like piece it out, having 2 names for follow-up is huge, because it means like almost guaranteed game, especially if you end up splurging on access code. But that's it for the profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wouldn't say, perhaps this isn't the best way to play Tri-Brigade, but I think for sure it's like the most fun. I just think like abusing cards like Mercurier that like are really cool and that tie in the whole lore together just make the experience a little more fun and keep your opponent on your toes. I just want to point out before we end this video that if you look at Shureg, you see Mercurier right here. And I don't think that's the only card he's in. And like, let's look at Kit real quick. Oh yeah, you see like a Mercurier right here, right? So Mercurier like kind of ties in between the Tri-Brigades and the Albaz. And Mercurier, Albaz is actually, if you follow the lore, Albaz like joins the Tri-Brigades, or like the Tri-Brigades help the Albaz, or they help each other to face off against the evil entities of the lore, like which include Despia, Sprite, among other things. So actually, this is the pair that was meant to be. It's not branded Despia because technically Despia is like against Albion or Albaz. Tri-Brigades are the ones that are actually cooperating with Albaz to beat the evils of the world. So look into the lore, guys. There's plenty of videos on YouTube if you want to kind of tell you about that. But this is also why I think this deck is so cool, because I think this is like the lore deck, at least during this guy's Albaz's, or is the boy himself, at least during Albaz's chapter when he's with the Tri-Brigades, this is the lore. And also there's a new card coming out in the upcoming set, core set, that's Tri-Brigade Last Stand. It says Tri-Brigade Last Stand, but it actually shows Albaz on like the front with the Tri-Brigades in the background. So they're making their last stands against, you know, Despia, among other evil entities. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll be following this up with some combo videos, hopefully, if you guys did enjoy this profile. Let me know what you think below. Let me know if there's anything I missed, if there's any like cards I should have included, or just any thoughts below would be appreciated. You guys have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye.